Hello, everybody, and welcome to Beyond BMR. I am your host, Bigfoot, Michigan Rob. You know me as BMR. How's everybody this evening? Thanks for joining us for another fantastic show. Jesus Payan joins me. We're talking a little Bigfoot. That's right, New Mexico. It's going to be a fantastic show. Typically, this is where I say, joining me in Studio B, the lovely Krista from Blondes and Booze Paranormal Podcast. She's vacationing, so sitting in with me, another lovely lady. Miss Ronica Rollins from Our Paranormal World sitting in. If not already, please subscribe to Monica's Our Paranormal World along with the Blondes and the Booze Paranormal Podcast. And if you are new here, please subscribe to Bigfoot Michigan Rob on YouTube as well as Texas Front Porch, all found on YouTube. This show, we talk about pretty much anything and everything. And tonight, we're going to mix in some Bigfoot cryptids. And maybe we'll even get paranormal with you. I don't know. See how these show rolls. Again, if this is your first time, please subscribe, hit the like button, share this out, and turn on the alert bell. You can find us on iHeart Radio, Spreaker, wherever podcasts are found. If you like and want to help support the channel, the Super Chat is open. The Super Chat is a great way to help support what we all do around here. Thank you in advance for that. Also, you can become a BMR pirate. Arr! You can join today. You know what you get? Well, you get a picture of me with my bandana next to your name in the chat room. How exciting. It's pretty fun. Join the hundreds that have joined today. Thank you so much. Check us out on our YouTube About pages for a listing of all the activities and events that we do have going on. Our lineups is Monday nights, Texas Front Porch, 8 o'clock to 11 in the East. Tuesday nights, right back here with Beyond BMR with myself and Krista. Tonight's Monica at 9 o'clock in the East. Thursday afternoon, back with me again, 1 o'clock at East Brunch with Bigfoot, Michigan Rob, and Tex. Thursday night, 9 in the East, the Blondes and the Booze Paranormal Podcast, Krista and Brandy. And then Thursday night, Monica, Our Paranormal World, 11 o'clock in East. Check her out, if you will. Fridays, we are back with the Blondes and the Booze Paranormal Podcast. They come on at 8 in the East Friday. Saturday, right back with me, Monica, Krista, and Brandy for late night. Late night's taking off. We're on every midnight, 11 Central on Saturday. That's right. It's a fun show. We cover everything, and we throw in a little hilarity and hijinks, to enlighten it for the end of the week. Sundays is Truth or Tinfoil, 6 o'clock with Brandy and Randy. And then, of course, we got Infamous Minds. That's True Crime, 7 o'clock in the East on Texas Front Porch. One other bit of news, really quick, or I don't know if it's news as much as if it's my own personal promotions, I guess. Y'all know about my book, Bigfoot Michigan Rob Presents True Cryptid Encounters, Book 1. It's been out for over a year. Thank you so much for those that bought it. Leave a review when it comes calling, when Amazon comes calling, or you can just do it yourself. Because you know what? August 15th, Book 2. Yes, Book 2. Wherever you buy books on Amazon. The same as Book 1. You see, I changed the cover a little bit. I reversed everything with a little matted color, but it pops. It don't pop on here for some reason, but it's awesome. Book 2 coming out August 15th, so I'll have 2 out there. Thank you so much for that. So enough of that. I'm going to get on with this and bring up the lovely Monica. I have you on mute. You're on mute, I think, Monica. You're, eating. I know.
Yeah, I mute myself because
we know what you were doing.
I was eating popcorn.
Crunch. Yeah, I do love popcorn, but as soon as I eat popcorn, I'm very I'm not going to say conscious, but when I eat popcorn, I immediately, when I'm done, got to run upstairs, get the water pick.
Yes.
I hate the feeling of eating popcorn when you're done. You get some of those little curlers or whatever you call them. I don't know. Kernels. Thank you. Caught, somewhat in your teeth. It's never the front teeth. It's always the back teeth.
Of course it is. So you're sitting there just digging in. Yeah.
And I don't put the fingers in the mouth anymore. I grew out of that habit a while ago.
I still do it.
Yeah. Well,
you do what you gotta do.
You're a girl, you got nails, so I just keep mine, short or whatever. Yeah, there you go. Oh, what is that? Like an off green color nail polish?
That is a matte black color.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
cool looking. Very cool.
Like my heart.
You haven't seen her show yet. You'll find out why she has.
It's fun. I did another short last night. I did one on Banshee. So.
I did see that. Yes, you're becoming quite the Instagram girl, and because I think you're on Facebook with that. But I see you all the time on Instagram with those little shorts.
Well, it's the easiest place to make them for me. I need to learn how to do TikTok a little better, just because I make them on Instagram and then I download them and I drop them like Easter eggs all over social media.
There you go. You know, I don't really do Instagram videos. I probably should. I don't think I haven't figured it out yet. Yeah, it's probably the same, like, you know, a YouTube short, I guess.
And of course, they have all the filters, so I can, you know, look better. Nice.
Yeah,
dim lighting, you know.
Well, that's the thing about Instagram. You get all these pictures of people that just pop up on your feed. I'm like, yeah, okay, you don't really look like that. You know?
No. Well, you haven't seen me in person. For all you know, I do look like that. This is
well, I might see you in person in New Orleans.
You are going to see me in person in New Orleans.
Okay, well, very good then.
Right? January 17th through 20th for my birthday.
Yeah, and my birthday is the 20th.
My birthday?
Well, mine's the 27th of January.
Yeah, and Breezy's wife is like the 30th. So
it'll be pretty cool then. All right.
It's a big birthday bash in New Orleans for all of us. And you know what's cool is it's the beginning of Mardi Gras season, right? It's the beginning of Carnival. So all the houses, especially in the Garden District, start decorating for Mardi Gras. It's really cool.
Very good. So yeah, that'll be fun. I've never been in New Orleans. I've been in Louisiana, but not in New Orleans. So go figure it out.
It's the only place you really should be going if you're in New Orleans.
Yeah. Well, I got a couple friends from Louisiana, but not going to get into that right now. We got a great guest. We have a great guest, and I am excited to have him on for the second time. We got you're on mute too, Jesse. It's Jesse Jr. Jesus Payan. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you. It's good to be back. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
both of you.
Yeah. I think it's been maybe about a year since I had you last time, so I feel I'm going to give you a call and see what's going on. And so, thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Back.
I think you might have been on my day show last time. I don't think you've ever been. I don't think I had the night show even rolling at that time. So, regardless, thanks for coming back.
It was last July of last year.
Yeah. So I was just about right with the year. Yep. So cool. Thanks for coming on in. I want to thank everybody in chat for coming in too. I love you guys. If I can't say hi, hey, I love each and every single one of you. You're awesome. And all the people that are watching that aren't in chat room, I've got to continue to say thank you for your support, because I got this new program, which I like. I have fun with these new programs. We got 52 people in chat, and we've got already 229 watching live right now, wherever you may be. So thank you to you people. Thank you to everybody for coming on in.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool little feature I discovered. So it's always cool. Thank you. We got 5 more Bigfoot, Mr. Rob Pirates. Arr! Thank you, T-Bone, for gifting 5 more pirates, matey. That's awesome. Thank you so much, T-Bone.
Yeah,
that's yeah. How'd you like my acting skills? How'd you like my acting skills? You can get me on one of the next shows, man.
I was very impressed. I thought you were gonna buckle my shiver my timbers or something.
Yeah, hey, shiver my timbers, matey. BMR on the plank.
Right, gonna make me scrape the barnacles off the boat, dang it.
No, I won't make you do that. You know, I think you'd be having me do that. Last time I checked, you're a little bit bigger than I was, so. But yeah, no, thanks again, man. My schedule is always open, though. Anytime, you need an extra. Give me
That's awesome. I appreciate it for real.
Yeah, thank you. So if you'd like, and this is always a standard question, especially I have a lot since last time around. I have a lot of new subscribers and new people. If you want to take us a walkthrough, man, how you get involved in Bigfoot, and if you want to give any other background before we really get rolling here.
Okay, well, the way I got into Bigfoot, I would say I'd have to be giving my credit to my mom. It started in England when I was about 4 years old, and she had a book that she had bought called Mysterious World by Arthur C. Clarke. And inside that book, there was, of course, about UFOs, Stonehenge, Loch Ness Monster, and Bigfoot. So that was where my first, taste of the large hairy beast got, in my mind. And up through, junior high or elementary, junior high, and all the other class. Anytime I could find a Bigfoot book, I'd always get it. Something about Bigfoot. And then in 2000, my mom started working for the forest department, and my sister was a police officer in the same town. And Ruidoso, which has just recently been devastated by horrible fires and floods. Horrible. Not just the people are, hurt, but there's so many animals and Sasquatch there. It's upsetting. But they would get reports of Bigfoots. And since it, quote unquote, doesn't exist, they couldn't go and investigate the reports. So, but they were able to tell me about it, people calling in and saying, what's going on camp. Like to my mom's, the forest department, they mostly get reports of people camping and having rocks thrown at their tents and stuff. Some of the rangers would go out to clean the areas, change the trash, and they'd get rocks thrown at them too, and hear a whoop or two, And my sister, they would get more of the reports of, it's in my yard, or my dog's missing, I found my dog, it's dead, or this one lady there, Ruidoso Downs, called because she saw two Sasquatch. It was right after another fire. They were behind Walgreens digging through in the daytime, behind Walgreens digging in the dumpsters. And of course, Ruidoso's in a forest town, so it's surrounded by woods. But yeah, the forest pushed so many animals, including Sasquatch, closer into the forest. So those are the reports that they would get, and they would tell me about, and I get to hear where they were. So by 2012, I would say I was well versed enough in tracking and hunting in my research that I went out and made my first documentary or YouTube video, whatever you want to call it, and got in the field officially. But I've been studying it for just, already decades. And yeah, I've been doing that ever since.
When you do your research, you go looking for Bigfoot, you stick in Ruidoso or New Mexico area, or you go all over?
I try to go all over when the money permits. But from all the way up to Oregon, Washington, down here to New Mexico, Texas, and planning a trip in Florida and upstate New York. But yeah, the majority of my research, I would say, about 80% of it would be in New Mexico or the Four Corners area.
From what I understand, the Four Corners is probably an ideal spot for all this weird stuff, from Bigfoot to anything paranormal, even UFOs, everything, right?
Oh yeah. But both down here too is nuts with all that stuff. But up in the Four Corners area, like I lived on the Upper Fruitland Navajo Reservation for a couple of years, and that was where I filmed the Sasquatch crossing the field. That was the first time I got to video. 26 and a half to 2017. But yeah, no, up there we got all kinds of crazy stuff. Little people, ghosts, demons, skinwalkers, crackheads, all kinds of stuff. It's just crazy.
Everything.
Well, wherever there's a crackhead, there's a skinwalker.
But you guys remember the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so the casting director that discovered me, Sherry Rhodes, was the casting director for that movie, and she casted the actual Dr. J. Allen Hynek for Project Blue Book in the movie, and Jacques Vallée also in the movie, and those guys are deep in the UFO world, and that actually happened in 1953. The story of Close Encounters of the Third Kind here at our base here at White Sands Missile Range on Holloman Air Force Base. Where my family's been stationed 3 different times, so you got super UFO stuff going on here, tons of ghost stuff going on here, Bigfoot stuff, and recently I've gotten So your aliens, dogman or a werewolf, whatever you want to call him, that has entered the picture now in my photographic evidence files that I got now. I had only one other time in 2012 had a glimpse of a werewolf dogman running by at nighttime. But we had a fire going, and nothing since until let's say early this year. In our mountains. I didn't expect to see that in the picture because I got the new. Well, it's not new no more. It's been 10 minutes, but I had the S23 Ultra phone that had night shot, really, really good. And hit click it and it counts 5, 4, 3, 2. Just get it.
I don't. Excuse me really quickly. You're kind of breaking up a little bit. Your voice is crackling a little. And right now you appear to be frozen. Yeah. I missed about less 10 seconds.
Okay. That was weird. 1 second her hand was in there on her chin, and then all of a sudden it's like, and she's stuck like that. But I'm guessing I'm stuck too then. Yeah.
Well, we're a little bit stuck. We're a little bit in a quandary here, but I know that we'll probably work our way through this. Because right now you're totally
I'm talking about milk.
Yeah, no, he's probably gonna have to reboot or something. I don't know if he's got a set of headphones, but anyways, we'll get that resolved. I don't know what it's like out there in Ruidoso, New Mexico. I'm sure they've got good internet out there.
Yeah, I'm sure it's probably spotty a little bit, but that's okay. He'll reconnect because he was doing good there for a minute.
He's doing fine. No, he'll be right back. I can see that. Maybe I'm I think I'm a dude. Yeah, good. He's gone. So he'll be back. He's got to redo his deal there.
Mm-hmm.
He just sent me a text. He's blah blah blah. Okay, he'll be back doing a reconnection. So yeah, I mean it's kind of amazing, like you're like Monica. When I said the Four Corners area, your kind of eyes went like, "Oh my god!" Yeah, I mean,
oh yeah.
Have you been in that area? You just know about it yourself?
I know about it. I've been not in the Four Corners area. I mean, I was in the South San Juan Wilderness in southern Colorado. That was super creepy. But just the stories that I know of that come out of the Four Corners they're crazy. I mean. Especially on the res. There he is.
Man, I must have been revealing too many secrets.
The government, the ABC agencies, as I like to say, they always like to listen in.
They're like, boot him off. He's talking about that stuff again.
Break the connection.
So some of that we didn't get, but that's okay. I'm sure you can repeat some of it. But I did want to ask you, when you started doing your Bigfoot research, you sent me some pictures too. There's a few you sent me some patty ones, and I think there has to be a reason behind those. But you also sent me some ones that I think are of yours. So I'm sure there's a story behind why you sent me the patties. We'll get into that a little bit later. But I'm going to ask you, what was your first experience? I'm sure you've had to come across something that might be Bigfoot, right? If in fact it was.
My very first time with Bigfoot, oh my. Well, there was a first time, and it was in, I'd say, 2003. So me and my friend Michael, we were at my folks' property in outside of Tularosa, and they have 5 acres, and their house is right in the middle, and there was no moon out, super dark, just beautiful sky. You can see the stars, you can see the Milky Way. We were UFO hunting, right? We're out there, it was like midnight-ish, and imagine the road that they're on, my parents' property on, is like a U shape, right? So their property is the bottom of the U, 5 acres. Right there, and there's a gravel road that goes around it, to the other houses and stuff. So we were on the gravel road, about 2.5 acres away from the house, and we hear something walk on the gravel. It sounded just like us. By that point, I already had been, I learned tracking and heard all kinds of different footsteps from different animals and how their gait is. And it wasn't a quadruped. It was bipedal. And it starts pacing. It's about at least 20 feet in front of us. But we couldn't see it. Again, that's a guesstimation. But yeah, it was about 20 feet in front of us, and it just pacing back and forth on the gravel rocks. Pacing back and forth on the gravel rocks. I'm a former law enforcement, was a bouncer at a million clubs and did security and all kinds of fun stuff. So I recognize when somebody is building up courage. May it be at a bar because they're mad at some dude because the girl didn't like him and like the other guy, and he's drinking more and taking shots, and he's like, "Oh, that son of a gun." And until he takes the 10th shot, then he's like, "Oh, that's it. Oh, I'm gone. I'm a dick," and gets him, right? Same thing, the same static feeling of energy I was getting from that individual that was pacing back and forth. And the thing was, it was going slightly faster. And each time it crossed the road, twice, it started doing it a little faster. Like I said, it was building up. And I was like, "Hey, who's out there?"
Was this like a shadow? Was this like a shadow? I mean, I might have missed this. Was it an actual humanoid you've seen? You've seen the creature, correct? Walking back and forth. Okay, but you heard it. You heard the footsteps. Okay, gotcha.
It's gravel road, and we're standing on the road, so it's right in front of us. Pitch dark. You can see stars, but nothing else. It's just we're in the middle of the desert, like for real, on the missile range. Well, not on it, but right on the side of it. We live right near it, so it's way out there. And the closest village to our house is about 4-5 miles, and it has a population of 1,500. So like it's not a very popular place for people to walk around in the pitch dark, out in the middle of the desert. Very dangerous animals out there, like Sasquatch. But it's walking back and forth, speeding up. And there's no answer back because I was like, "Hey, who are you? Who's that doing that out there? Get away from here." Shoot, didn't work. Pacing faster and faster. And I finally tell my friend Michael, I'm like, "Michael, let's squat down. And we're going to grab some rocks. Throw the rocks at whatever the hell that is. We're going to scare it. It's going to run away. And then we're going to run." Right? So we grab some rocks, right? And I'm whispering because I have the natural feeling, I guess you could say, or it felt like it could understand what I was saying, so I had to whisper. You know what I mean? If it was just an animal, I wouldn't care. If it's an animal and those were there, I wouldn't be like, but we grab some rocks and I go, "Now, let's do it." We're throwing rocks. Nothing. Don't hit it. It dodged every rock, or we just didn't hit it. And now it's walking way faster, back and forth. It's got purpose, and it feels like it's about to go, rah, So I reach down one more time, and I find a good sized rock, and I close my eyes, even though I couldn't see it with my eyes because it was dark. But I closed my eyes, and I listened to its steps in the gravel, and I aimed and whoo, threw it as hard as I could, and I hit it, and it screamed, rah! And we were like, "Ah!" Right? And we started running. We were running. And, at the time I weighed like over 400 pounds, probably ish. And I feel like I was running faster than I ever ran before in my life. And so I was going like 3 miles per hour. And my friend was way ahead of me because he was a normal shaped guy. And we're freaking out. And as we get closer to the house, they have the floodlights in the backyard, but the floodlights only go so far on that much land. So until we got, about halfway to the house, you could start seeing slightly because of the light. And I looked to my left, and it was on all fours now, just keeping up with me. So, of course, I ran even faster. So now I was like pushing 4 miles per hour. And it was just looked at me like that and snarled his teeth while doing the all four things. And I got up on the deck. Michael was already on the deck, and it tackled the deck. Wham! Like, it's like you're in football. Didn't try to jump on us or run up. It was open. There was 3 stairs to walk up. You know what I'm saying? It could have got us if it wanted us. But yeah, went to the other side of the deck while we were fumbling with the sliding door. It was hard to open the sliding door that night because that was scary as hell, man. We didn't expect that. We were looking for UFOs, and it's like, whoa. So we finally got in, closed the sliding door, closed the curtains, and didn't even want to see it if it was out there still or whatever, But now, years later, I recognize what it was. Back then, in the moment, I didn't know what the hell it was. I just saw this. It was about my size too, so I think it was like a juvenile, like a teenager, out and about, being mischievous, messing around out there in the the houses way out there because we have farms and goats and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, that was my first time.
I've often heard that, that's pretty cool. How I was walking back and forth, and it was, and a lot of times. Okay, you just hear Bigfoot crossing the road, right? And that's okay, boom, boom, gone. And I've heard from several people that sometimes an older Bigfoot or a more seasoned veteran of the forest, they make it's their intention to stay away from us. And sometimes these younger ones that are a little more, they're ambitious, right? They want to, maybe check us out more. Maybe they're a little more. They're not as reluctant as their elders. So the fact that you said it might have been a juvenile, not to mention you said it was only, I'll tell you, about 6 foot. You're over 6 foot, ain't you?
6'3". Yeah, I'm 6'3".
So yeah, I mean that's definitely right around juvenile size from what I guess.
Right. Yeah, and usually, like you said, the full grown adults, they are way more cautious, messing with us, unless they know that they can make you disappear, completely, no evidence. They usually try to stay away from you, and a lot of the reports of people seeing them are because of juveniles, down to, adolescents, messing around, running, just like little kids do. You're at the Walmart and you're walking through the parking lot and they're like, oh, fidget, whoa, they take off. And, you're like, oh, crap, you have to go chase your kid, Same thing. A lot of these things, I think, are because of the youngsters getting in the way, and then they have to reveal themselves to get them, to go after them, to get them back, So just theory, of course. But, I think that's a big part of it.
That makes sense.
What was that, Monica?
I said that makes sense. If you've ever had to chase a child.
Yeah, well, again, I've heard that, and what we talk about on the show is theories, what we think, what we might have seen, and what other people's experiences are. But yeah, that's what I've come across that. And okay, that was your first time. Now, as you said, you reflected back on it. So at this particular incident, I'm getting the feeling this was a flesh and blood, physical entity, or not even an entity. It was a physical being, correct? I mean, you heard it, the grappling.
Some sort, yeah. Yeah, I hit it with a rock. You know what I mean? And scream, because it hurt. It was a good sized rock, and I threw it really hard. Enough to where it got pissed, and it physically was able to hit the wooden deck in the back of our house and shake the whole deck when it did it. But it was not. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it sounds like he was having a good old time with you. That's pretty cool. You got actually interaction for sure.
Yep.
The reason I asked you it was a physical being or flesh and blood is because you always know what the other questions are. Is you've had more experiences than that, I imagine, right? Have you had anything more physical as well moving forward here? Because I want to get into the paranormal, but not at this moment with the Bigfoot. Because I'm sure you've had that experience as well. Oh,
yeah. So the next time that it was a physical interaction of any sort was in 2017. Me and a guy, I call him Kenny, because I ain't talked to him since. And so I can't ask him, if it's okay, let's say his name, so I named him Kenny. And he didn't believe in Bigfoot and made a big old stink about it, that I'm crazy and all that fun stuff. And, oh, you're just messing with us. And I told him, one day, when you're ready, come hit me up. I'll take you out for afternoon, show you some wild stuff. If you can't prove how a human did it, then benefit of the doubt for Sasquatch being alive, you know? And he said, okay. He goes, one day, you know? And months passed until that's when that day came eventually. And he said that he wanted to take me up on that offer, because he said he's been getting antler sheds for like the past 3 years in those mountains. Said he ain't ever seen nothing Sasquatch like, you know. And he was a youngster, you know. He still couldn't drink alcohol, you know. He was very sure that he knew everything.
Yeah, very sure, very confident. Yeah.
Yep. So that same afternoon he called me. We went. I was 20 minutes from that location, and we went out there, and I showed him a bunch of tree structures and giant X's and giant trees that makes no sense how they got moved unless it was with a crane. But if it was with a crane, you'd have to knock down the other trees to get to that place to put the tree in that form or fashion. And yeah, he was like, I can't explain it. He was, but I'm still not there. And showed him some twisted, more like weave trees, you know. And he was like, I can't explain it, but I'm still not there. So I was like, okay, how about we do some tree knocking? You know, maybe they'll respond. I know they're in this area. So I do some tree knocking, knock, 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 you know, and we wait. And sure enough, we get two back. And his eyes just get all huge, you know. He's like, oh, do it again. You know, so I do it again. Crack, crack, crack. And it responds again. And he's like, give me your binoculars, you know. He sits down and he's trying to look at the area where it sounded like it came from. We didn't even know that above us in some trees, that's another picture I'll send later, there was two, what I believe were two Sasquatch infants. They're way up high holding onto the tree, and yeah, it's a trip. So he's all excited. He tells me, dude, can we camp here tonight? He goes, I got a brand new pop-up tent, having you to get to my truck. And I was like, sure, dude. If you really want to, you understand that these are giant individuals that can go to your little head. I go, I'm just saying, you know. He's, oh, dude, we're staying. He's just, you know, loving it. So he's setting up the tent, and I yell out to them, and I go, you know, hey, you guys, Jesus, it's me, Jesus, and we're here to say what's up. He doesn't believe you're real. Come on down, you know. And say hello. And he just looks at me just like, come on, dude. You're talking to him? No, just like, they understand. Shut up. You know, just leave me alone. And I go, I let him know I'm here all the time. So he sets up the tent. Nighttime comes, nothing. 10 o'clock, nothing. 11 o'clock, nothing. 12 o'clock, nothing. And about 1:30-ish, we hear footsteps walk up to our, you know, to the tent. At the time, I thought it was just one individual, you know, and we're sitting in the tent. And he's like, you know, thinking it could be, you know, or something else. And I'm like, no, that's them. And something sniffs the bottom of the tent where, like, by where he's sitting. I'm sitting by the zipper door. He's sitting across the tent, and it's a decent sized tent. I could stand up in it, and my head didn't touch. You know, so it was at least a 7-foot tent, you know, minimum, tall, because there's the vent hood, the vents, and then the vent hood on top, you know. So you hear the sniffing at the bottom of the tent, and it goes up the side of the tent, a little bit higher, you know, about 5 feet up, closer to 6 feet now. It's just sniffing all the way up. At that point, I could say maybe it's a bear standing on its hind legs. Kind of weird for an elk to do that, you know, start from the bottom and but it continued to go up all the way to the top of the tent, sniffing, you know. And there's nothing in our forest that can do that tall, you know. I can't even do that, and I'm not a little guy. But yeah, so now it puts a hand on the tent, big old hand, swing softly on the tent, and we could just see, it pushing on the tent. And we're like, oh crap! I was like, oh cool, and that he was like, and then it lets off the tent, and then from his side, where he's sitting, his back's facing that, that part of the tent wall, a giant arm reaches under the tent, and I mean a giant arm. I've got big arms, not I'm not huge muscles or nothing, but I got big arms for a human being, more than the average. And it made my arm look like a toddler's arm. I mean, holy crap. It was a huge arm. And it was so big that it knocked him over. He was sitting down on the floor, it knocked him over. Ah! And how do you react to that? What do you say? Right? So I had a really bright flashlight, and I imagine that the head would be right there, since the whole arm's there, got the shoulder and the head, right? So I flashed this flashlight at that spot, and I said, no, not a Bigfoot, right? And it pulled his arm out. And the dude, now no longer in shock that he just got knocked over by a Bigfoot, he looks at me and he goes, did you just scold the Bigfoot? And I was like, yeah, I ain't gonna yell at it. Okay, you know what I'm saying? They're way bigger than me, dude. I ain't trying to yell at it, act like I'm gonna do something. No. So then, and mind you, the only thing we heard the whole time were the footsteps when it walked up. The sniffing, no growling, couldn't hear it breathing. The arm went under. It made the noise because it went under, the tent material. It made a, slight brushing sound. But other than that, I heard no other vocalizations whatsoever. So now we hear the top of the tent being messed with. It was really cold that night, so we tried duct taping the vent hood so the heat wouldn't escape, And because it was so cold, and if you ever use duct tape in really, really cold weather, it don't work. It just doesn't stick, No.
Yeah.
So the Bigfoot starts peeling the tent hood back right over that guy. I'm at the window. I'm at the door open, and I have the light, and I point the light at in that area. So because it's like a screen screen mesh, at my angle with the light, it's a solid wall to me. I can't see through it, but he's directly under it. He could see right through it and what was looking in. And he's just looking up, and he starts saying, I can see its nose. I can see its nose. I can, telling himself, dude, you can see his nose. And he wouldn't stop saying that. He started saying it faster and faster and more panicked. And after I let him go for a little while, because he made a big fuss about, they ain't real. They're not real. I'm like, okay, here you go. There's your real. You want to stay? There you go. I thought it was awesome. I'm like, shoot, man, 2 Bigfoots coming down. I've been researching that area for 15 years already, and I thought it was great. So finally, he's about to have a panic attack, and it was a very short minute from when they opened it up and looked down and all that happened. I would say probably the whole thing lasted from when they looked in about 2 minutes, maybe. And at that point where he looked like he was literally going to have a serious panic attack now, I shined the light at the tent, and where they're looking in, like directly at them, not on the side slightly, so it's not blinding them, so you could see. And I said, that's enough, guys. He's getting freaked out. I don't know if they understand what that means, but I had to say something, and I hope that they understood. And because they had never been like hostile to me ever the whole time I've been out there, and like they seem to be comfortable with having their kids hanging around and peeking at me and stuff. And usually, if they don't trust you, they won't let their loved ones anywhere near the area, But yeah, so I put down the flashlight so now he couldn't see it through it because it's pitch dark outside. And we just sat there, and I continued talking to them as they were just walking around the tent, I guess, or staying still. But yeah, I could sense they're still there for a good 2 more hours. And I was just telling them, hey, drones out there. They're sending out here to do, they're mapping everything here. If you guys at nighttime, if you see any blinking lights moving real slow, go back in the caves. Go underground. Talked about Enoch, the book, and what's going on with that, story, and he was just so confused and upset because I was talking to them. They weren't saying nothing back, but hey, if they can understand, and I'm sure they don't have like tons of people that try that with them, not be all freaked out for that long. And morning came, and I had to even open the zipper and opened up a oatmeal cookie, and I was like, "Hey guys, here's an oatmeal cookie. I ain't got much else." Put it out the door, and it was still there when the light came out. They didn't take it, and went outside, and there was you could see where the arm went under the tent. Took pictures of that. I was filming the short little instant, and unfortunately, of course, while I was at that reservation, my tablet that I had filmed it with was stolen, and the next morning, because there was a party, the next morning I was like, I don't care who has my tablet, just leave the chip. I just need the chip. I have footage on there that I do not need to lose. Keep the tablet. I won't get mad. I won't knock you out. Nothing like that. Just leave the chip somewhere. I don't care. Nobody stepped forward, said anything. Luckily, I had taken pictures with my phone camera on a computer screen of the video, so still shots. And I had an old computer screen, and the kind that you could tilt it and it acted like contrast. Remember those? You really tilt your PC screen and it acts like
Yes, I remember.
So I did that. I was tilting it because I didn't have all the cool apps we have today. On your phones, you can add, adjust the contrast, the brightness, the saturation, the ambience, and all that cool stuff. I just had a PC screen that I could tilt, and I was like, "Holy crap! I can see them. I can see them now." I didn't. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest. No,
I'm picturing myself doing similar. Yeah.
Right. And sure enough, it turned out there was two of them. I didn't realize that there was two of them looking in the tent.
Oh,
and
God.
one of them was going to him, and the other one was like this, like laughing because he's down there like, all freaked out. And this is the more ridiculous kicker of the whole thing. In one of the screenshots, it looked like there was a third individual, and the third individual wasn't a Sasquatch. The third individual had big almond-shaped eyes, but solid red, not black, and the skin wasn't gray; it was green. But if it was a black and white picture, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Same shape, everything as a gray, but it was green with red eyes instead. So, two Sasquatch and a reptilian, or we can call him an alien or a demon. We don't know. I don't know. They were all there together, looking in the tent. And now I know why that morning that guy gave me his tent, said he was never coming back to those mountains, and hasn't spoken to me since.
Yeah, well, I guess so.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that comedy show though, between the and the hey, how you doing?
Right.
That would have been a capture. Speaking of captures, you sent me some pictures that I'm trying to make heads or tails of, and I know there's a story behind these. So they're not in any particular order, so you have to excuse me for that. But I'm gonna go with one that don't have a circle first. I think these are the same. I'm gonna go with this first, I guess. Well, that has the hang on. Is there one without that? I guess it does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's something else. You got some. All right, now see, look at that. Okay, let's start with that.
Okay,
That's
so
cool.
this is also in that same area of our mountains, and when I hear them making noises or whooping or breaking branches or whatever, And I know there's somewhere in there. I'll take a series of photos from left to right, carefully. So when I get home, I can zoom in and look around,
Yeah.
So I get home, I'm zooming in, I'm looking around, and this is way brightened up from the original. You couldn't, in the original, that's all that area that you're looking at is dark, shaded, real, in the shade. Middle of the day, though. And yeah, sure enough, I see what looks like a Sasquatch looking at me. The face, you can see, that's what the other picture, the one you showed previously, it shows where the eyes, the cheeks, nose are.
Yep.
And right there, that big old thing in the front of it, between its head and the lower torso, is a big arm with a nice big side shoulder. It looks like to me. And I noticed on its arm that it had what looks like a raised scar or a banding, because it's actually, you could see the shadowing underneath it being caused by this thing on its arm.
Yes.
But I paid it no mind for a few years, and I named this Sasquatch Bailey, because it was in Bailey Canyon, Cloudcroft, where I got the picture, and I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, so Bailey I thought fit either way.
Mm-hmm.
It gets deeper.
I think okay, really quick, I think this is the same one that you just actually just put the little eyes, mouth, and mouth. Yeah. Well, I gotta tell you, even without that, I immediately, when I saw this, I'm like, dude, it's one of the better pictures I've seen, and I'm not saying it because you're guests on the show. Monica knows me. I don't really like to put pictures when I do a show because I just don't. I'm not getting into that. I prefer the vocalizations. But this, man, I'm like, oh, dude, that's good. And then you did this little, no, not that. This one. That's where and again, you don't even need that. But for the person that can't pick things out, that kind of enhances it a little bit, and it does help, And you had mentioned about Bailey, and here's another one, Patty. Well, this is Patty versus Bailey. There's a picture. Now I'm trying to. Now this is Bailey. I'm guessing this is Patty. What is that? I'm trying to see what you're trying to do with this one.
Well, so what happened was I was looking, at Facebook groups, Bigfoot Facebook groups, and there was a picture. Somebody had went to a museum, and there was a giant blow up Patty on the wall. Dead in front of it. And I noticed on the arm of Patty, there was a strange, what looked like a scar on her arm. I've been a tattoo artist for over 30 years, and I've seen every type of skin, worked on every type of skin, scars, brandings, all kinds of stuff. And I recognize that ribbing on it it looks like a branding. And it happens to be the same shape as the one on Bailey, which is also a raised scar, What are the chances? Yeah, on the same arm, on the same right arm, between the shoulder and the elbow.
Okay.
Right?
I can see, I definitely
50 years apart.
That. I could definitely see that.
Yeah, 50 years apart. Thousands of miles apart. What are the chances you're going to even see another Sasquatch, get a picture of a Sasquatch, and have that? And then, well, Daniel have never noticed the arm. So and Davis was like, hey, check this out, man. And I showed him, wow, that's I didn't see that, which is a miracle because he looks at that. He owns that. He owns it now. So I seen it open the box. These pictures related to other pictures of the face.
I'm sorry, man, because you were crapping out on us again for the last 15 seconds there. I missed a little bit of that. Your internet's going froggy again. You're frozen again, and we couldn't really hear the last 15 seconds. Sorry, man. I'm just telling you how it is.
No worries. No worries, man. So the images together, they coincide with some other information because of those other pictures I sent you of Patty's face. Okay, because there's a very, very current
There you go. Yeah, well.
Yeah, we've dropped.
Yeah, he'll be back. His internet's been in and out. But yeah, for those just joining us, this is, I think, a pretty cool picture, what he showed us. Well, that's a different one, but I mean, I could definitely see something there. Monica. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, it's clear
not
that. Yeah, I mean the
clear.
face,
It's
the
clear as a,
shoulder.
it's clear
Yeah.
as a bell. Clear as a bell.
Somebody said it looks like a gorilla in the chat, and I agree, it
Yeah,
does.
it does. But then again, hey,
Not saying that that's what it is, but I mean, it's
yeah,
the
it has a
story.
resemblance for sure. Yeah, I'm not in
Mhm.
chat right now, but I don't know if there's gorillas in New Mexico, but
Not usually, unless a circus, train derailed. Get the good old
oh yeah, you get
story.
the spillage, yeah,
Yeah.
just like good old Texas tiger lost in Brown Springs, Oklahoma.
Well, I think that's because Tiger King wasn't terribly far.
Tiger King wasn't too far from there. Really quickly, thanks to T-Bone for gifting the 5 Bigfoot Mr. Pirates and for Amy for the awesome super chicker. T-Bone asked a question, has Jesus heard vocalizations? Well, we'll ask him when he gets back. For sure. Thanks for everybody for coming on in. So yeah, those are pretty cool. He's got, I'm gonna show this before he comes on. I thought this was cool because I heard at one time there's Patty was shot. We've heard stories.
Yeah.
And look at this picture. It looks like the eye's missing there. And maybe it's just me. But you see the nice clear eye on the left, and there's a color photo. He sent me those too. We'll ask him what he thinks those. That's he sent them over for a reason, obviously. So we'll figure that out in a minute. But thanks for everybody for coming on in. It happens when you do a live show sometimes.
Yeah, he's given up too much info, so the government had to scramble.
I mean,
right?
scramble it. So what else is new, Monica?
So my show on Thursday, I'm going to be talking about New Orleans and Saint Germain and the Coffin Girls and witches and vampires and everything kind of like voodoo and everything creepy about New Orleans. So we're going to get in the mood.
Oh, great. Get me in the mood for the
January outing that everybody is invited to. We'll just tell y'all where to go every night. You can meet us up there.
Yeah, sounds like fun. Here he's coming back. Hello, Mr. Anderson. Good to see you. Good to see everybody in chat. Mr. Payan is having a little issues this evening. Yeah, vampires in New Orleans. Go figure.
Yeah, I mean, I know you don't normally think of the two, but I figured I'd try to make that connection,
Yeah. I'm still waiting for him. He's still got the circle going, everybody. So I do apologize for that. Hey, things happen on live shows.
It happens. He'll come back.
But the speaking of New Orleans, really quick, New Orleans.
Nolans.
They're Nolans. They're well known for vampires and witches.
Yes, they are. Yes, they most definitely are. I swear, there's energy vampires. Just you could throw a rock and hit one there.
Yeah. Well, I heard there's a lot of those going on, and you live in Texas. I heard a lot of energy vamps in the Houston area as well.
I could see that. That city's messed up. I mean, I lived in Houston I worked in Houston for quite some time. I sure didn't live there. I worked and got out. Oh.
He's still got the circle going, everybody. Too bad, but pretty sweet show going. So thanks for everybody for coming in.
So what's new with you, Rob? Tell me.
There's nothing really new. Actually, today it was. It's been in the 90s here, which has been pretty good. But then today, man, not really. I mean, I'm not a big fan of August. Bugs, mosquitoes, and high humidity. High humidity, So here we've got, he looks like he's finally back, everybody. And I'm going to pull him on up. Now he's got the whole family there, looks like. But he's still.
You guys see us or hear us?
Yeah, I can.
BT phone home.
I can, I think we can hear you. Hello? Can you hear us? Hello? 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 Can you hear me? You're waving. I don't think they can hear me. There's no audio now.
Oh, I can hear them.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Well, I can't hear Monica.
I can.
Are they talking?
Yeah. Well, I mean, occasionally, yeah.
Talking, testing.
Okay.
1, 2, 17.
We can see you and hear you.
100,000.
Okay, sounds good
Okay.
now. Hey, man, sounds
All
good.
right. Well, good to see you. These are two of the Breaking Bigfoot members. That's also this is my nephew, Jotham,
Hi.
and my wife, Melissa. They wanted to say hi.
Hello.
They
Hi,
were wondering
everybody.
what was happening because everything disappeared.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, we're back.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and sit down, guys. Love you. Okay.
So where were we? Blah 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 blah. Well, you showed us the cool pictures.
So what I was saying was,
Okay.
Patty. Now I was telling you that it was something controversial was the word I was looking for. That is a story that a lot of people don't believe Patty was being hunted. You know, so
Right.
when I see these scars on her arm, the same as the one that I took a picture of. You got to ask yourself, how did that get there? Did they do it to themselves? If they did it to themselves, what did they use? Did they try to do scarification by cutting it and rubbing dirt in it? Why would they do the same shape from completely different tribes?
Yes.
If it's not scarification cut, what did they use to cut with too? Of course, but if it's a branding, which it looks like to me more like a branding scar, did they brand themselves, each other? If they did that, do they know metallurgy? Okay, don't know. Now, why do humans brand things? It's
Ownership.
property, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So, the box of Pandora gets opened larger. And then, if you just keep that in the back of your mind, okay?
Okay.
And then you hear the story of that they walked in on a hunt, and there was already a dismembered Sasquatch in the area. I'm not saying that's what happened.
Well, I've heard that. Mhm.
I'm just saying this is what a lot of people are pissed off about because somebody said
Yes.
this is what
Right.
happened. And this is what I imagine. This is a crazy jump from left field. But what if you guys ever seen the movie? Have you ever seen the movie where Ice-T is a homeless guy and some rich dudes get him and tell him, if you can survive for the next 24 hours while we hunt you, you get like $10,000 or something,
Right.
What if somebody has, big game hunters, if you're rich, you will pay whatever, for bragging rights amongst their brethren. So what if there is someone out there, I don't know who, somehow has had Sasquatch caught, more than one, and hunt Sasquatch, and after the hunt, if they do kill one, they dismember it and sell off the parts like gorillas, the way they do with game animals. Okay? So if Patty that's what she was, walking away from because she's they're in the middle of, I noticed on the image from Todd Gatewood on MK Davis's channel of Patty's face, like the clearest version you've ever seen.
Mhm.
That's one of the ones I sent you. And
yeah, I got those, and I
like to enhance images.
Well, here is
because you never know what's in them. know, what you're not seeing with our own eyes once you adjust everything. And I noticed that her mouth in the picture, you see it, you can see teeth here, but it's closed here. And
Yeah,
then
on the
you can see
right.
the front teeth over here in the picture.
Okay.
That didn't
And
make
then
sense to me. So, yeah. So, first, if you can, the whole face. Of all the enhancements is down the mouth, down the chin, there's bandages. There you go. See, that was before I really brought out that what's there. Between the top and bottom of the lips, in that middle area, there's
yeah.
old Teddy. Okay, it's hard to see until you there. Okay, there you go. There's a way closer version of it, but right here, you see that square, that strange square right there. On the darker image earlier, you'll see it better. It goes, a piece of material goes underneath this little bridge of material that between those teeth in the front, it looks like she's missing some teeth and the lip of her mouth has been damaged. Okay. So once I see, there you go. If you look close, so you can see the bridge going, that cloth going underneath that little bridge right there. Okay.
Yeah, I
Going
see
underneath.
that. Yeah, I see that. It's interesting that you bring that up because I had MK Davis on last year, and we
So I
brought him
took it
up.
to, I just
Man, we're
enlarged
way
the
behind.
image so you can only see the mouth and part of the nose. Didn't tell tell him it was a Bigfoot or nothing like that. It just looked like a hairy dude, you know. And I asked him, I go, hey, I go,
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I think we're like behind or something because I kind of missed a lot what you're saying. It's all important things you were saying because I've heard similar stories with MK Davis about an alleged massacre over there at Bluff Creek. And unfortunately,
no
Jesse,
worries.
Jesus, I couldn't really hear a lot of that. But I know what you're saying about the bridge of the mouth and the
Uh,
teeth and it looks like the eye, there's damage to the eye. Did you get that as well? Did you mention
mhm.
that?
A little bit, yep. The whole face has been like something's happened to it. I asked the doctor, um, does that look like a homemade stitch, or bandaging? I go, or what? Can you explain this to me? Is that bandaging that I'm seeing? And he said, well, whoever this is, he goes, they suffered from severe mouth trauma, and that is surgical bandaging that's sewn into the skin to hold it together, the mouth. And he said that little slip knot that I was saying that goes under the other piece of material, I'm calling a bridge. He said what that is so you can open the mouth still enough to drink and eat, but you can't open it enough to re-tear what's been sewn together.
Yeah, I'm gonna
So
pull it up
I'm
one
I'm
quick.
I'm what I'm throwing out there is, what if this dude had sent her out before on a hunt? She got shot in the face, and he sewed it up and sent her out again for another big payday. Uh, yeah, yeah. And you can see it goes all the way from the nose, that white
Yeah, I see that.
dot in the nose. I think is bandage coming out of the nose, maybe. I don't know. This is the screen. The picture I have right there. I took a picture on his page, on his video, the first time. So I didn't, I hadn't. Todd Gatewood hadn't like sent it to. I think it says I have $100 or something. So and I'm not doing it to get money or any kind of touch upon what's on the face right there. And yeah. So she's got a scar. She's got a branding. They're far apart. They're the same shape brandings. And now we know she had face trauma. The story of what he's saying, that she had a scar. She had a branding. They're the same shape brandings. And now we know she had face trauma. The story of what he's saying, happened because that's what Patterson's wife told. Patterson told his wife before he died, and then she told before she died. And when you just put it all together, to me, that's what it sounds insane and ridiculous, but to me that seemed I'm a former investigator in real life and former law enforcement. And, that's what it's looking like to me. You know what I mean? It's one thing just to say, hey, that's a real Bigfoot. It's like I'm beyond that. That's a real Bigfoot for sure. But the question is, unless there's surgeon Bigfoots and Dr. Bigfoots, know how to. I know they do natural healing, of course, but it's bandaging. And for a surgeon to recognize the type of bandaging and sewing that was done, stitching, that opens a whole new box of holy crap, what's really going on?
Well, they say, I mean, I've heard this. I mean, I think that the Bigfoot or Sasquatch, I think they're intelligent. They certainly have to be for living as long as they presumably have.
Right.
I guess I wouldn't put them past maybe being able to stitch themselves up from either observing us or from being on this planet for so long. Monica, what's your take on that? Anything's possible?
I don't see why not. Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely. I mean, if you look at them like just a race of primitive
people.
I don't want to say people, but
right.
You know where I'm going with that.
I know where you're going.
They're people. They're just hairy.
Yeah.
Well, there's no reason they wouldn't have the ability to use like medicinal herbs and different things throughout the forest, right?
Well, so that's the thing is they're considered like to my tribe, to all these other tribes out here, at least in the Americas, we consider them another, the hairy people. They're people, but they don't have. Well, from what we know, I ain't gonna even jump into the aliens hanging out with Bigfoots thing, but right now, that's a whole another video. But
they do. We all know that.
At least, right? Got pictures.
Hey, man, it
does.
But I'm sure it's another show. Go ahead.
Are we considered? Because they shouldn't have. Well, but they would use, like you said, natural remedies. As you know, there's the footprint where it's a crippled foot.
Yeah, the crippled footprint.
That crippled footprint. That one Sasquatch print. Many reports of Sasquatches that have, look like they've been injured. Never has there been any reports of bandages. Yeah, bandages or any type of crutches or nothing like that. From the Native Americans, we weren't putting patches on people, so no, you do the natural thing, put some moss and this and and all that kind of stuff. So to me, it just sure they have the ability, I'm sure, to do a lot more than we think, because
Monica, can you hear? Or
I can hear you. Yeah, but
for whatever reason, they all stay deep away in the forest.
Yes, everybody. Yeah, he's had some bad connection going on out there, so I do apologize. But again, it's not his fault. It's a live show, and anything happens on live shows. And Monica, he's saying a lot of cool things. I wish I could have heard most of it. But there's a story behind Patty being hunted, and I heard the story, and I had MK Davis on, and he wouldn't come around and say it, but he didn't say it didn't happen either. We've heard the story about his family allegedly being skinned and murdered. Now, that's what people really go off the deep end when I tell that. and talk about it, so I'm not going to.
I'm familiar with it.
But
Yeah.
I've had him on my show. We did like a 2-hour show like last year.
I remember when he very
And
first came out
MK,
with that theory.
yeah, I remember that. I'm not saying I believe that happened, but I do believe that this Patty film, he brings up some good points. He looks like he was messed up. Now, whether he got in a fight with another Sasquatch or that was humanly inflicted from a gunshot or something, I don't know.
It's
I
hard to
mean,
tell from that because let's
it
be
is.
real. You're taking that still from a very old film camera, which is grainy to begin with. And then you're trying to enhance that to today's clarity, right? And you're trying to clear it up. And it looks to me, just saying that's what it looks like to me, that they're patching in places where it's blurry or there's nothing there or they can't tell what it is. It's that, I mean, yes, it does look like scarring on its face from that enhanced photo, but there's no way to tell for sure because the original film cell that would have been taken off of is not excellent quality compared to today's, video and camera. So, I mean, you can only do so much with a grainy, 8mm celluloid still.
No, absolutely. I will still say this, probably the best piece of evidence, I guess you could call it, right, for all the films that we've seen. And I'm convinced it's real. It's not a man in a suit. There's just too much going on
No,
in
it's
that
real.
walk. I mean, you just see the muscles.
And I don't know. I mean, Patterson could have been trying to pull something over, but I mean, I know Bob, and Bob's an honest guy. I don't think Bob is trying to like lie to everybody and pull something off.
No, I don't think so at all.
No.
I don't. I just talking to him and seeing him on. I've never talked to him, but seeing him on different interviews just seems to be a genuine guy. Like
He is. He's a down to earth, just normal guy. Who's also Chiricahua Apache, by the way.
Oh, is he? Very good.
He is.
Now we got that blood bond going on.
I meet my peeps in
You got
all
your
kinds of places.
Well, you got peeps. Yes. You
Joe Breezy.
Yeah,
Cameron.
You get all sorts of peeps from all around the world. We'll meet some in New Orleans. You probably got some vampire peeps hanging out that you're not aware of.
Oh, I'm aware when they're around. When there are energy vampires around, you just do.
Well, yeah, and but I got to tell you what, I got a buddy, my best friend. So he's I swear, no, he's not a practicing energy vampire, but he's one of these guys. And I don't understand. I was my best friend since like the 7th grade. He's just so exhausting, so negative. He's bitching about everything. The only time he calls me is when he's driving home from work. Traffic sucks. This guy don't know how to drive because he drives a truck, right?
Right.
Dude, why are you bringing me down? Because I feel this negative vibe, and there's lots of negative vibrations and negative. People's just talking negative all the time. And for me, I get an energy dump. I get an energy dump, man. And I'm like, look, call me back when you're happy. Click, and I hang up. I don't even give them the courtesy of. I don't even tell them anymore. You're boring me. You're bringing me down. I just go, see you later. Call me on the weekend.
Right? I don't want it. Yeah. Somebody in the chat asked do these vampires drink victims' blood? Yeah, they're sanguine vampires. Not many, but yeah, they're out there.
Yeah,
sanguinarians.
Yeah. Well, I did not drop him backstage, everybody. Somebody asked me, and it just disappeared because I know it's his internet connections kind of all over the place. So I don't know that I'll have him back. I'll have him back on the show, but yeah, I don't know that he'll be back now because, in fact, we got 15 minutes left, and we can just.
Monica seems like the person that hangs with vamps. Yes, she is.
I don't know. Yeah, his webpage is down. I'm even trying to get a hold of him. He's got some weird stuff going on over there. Hang on, I'm typing him real quick, you guys. Excuse me, this again. And I can't see. Okay. So anyway, yeah, yeah, he don't know what's going on. His internet's not even working properly. I said we'll definitely have to have him back on because it was a fun show what we got out of it. Because
Absolutely.
I mean, great stories. I mean, here's a guy, and he's been doing this for quite a while. I mean, 30 years, and I never thought that about him. I know I saw him on Breaking Bad, a couple other shows, and then one day I seen him on a show where, oh my God, that's the guy from Breaking Bad. He's a Bigfoot guy. It's pretty cool. Well, I got to tell you,
Yeah.
I'll say this about him. Most of your TV personality types, they don't come on like little podcasts like this. So I thought that's very cool of him and very humbling, just come on, some, low finance budgeted project like the BMR show,
My simple little podcast.
A simple podcast, I had a TV star on who's seen Bigfoot, and I know he's seen other stuff too. He mentioned UFOs, supernatural. We'll have to get him back for sure when he's got a better connection.
Absolutely. I want to hear more of his stories. I'm just so interesting to hear.
Kimber says Brandy's rubbing off on him. Yeah, Brandy, boy, she's got some problems.
Poor Brandy.
So I will have Mr. Payan Jesus back here in the future coming up pretty shortly, I think. But at Thursday, is just you and Breezy shooting the shit Thursday night or what? What's going on with that? Oh, you got somebody coming on?
Breezy's coming on with me.
Vampires and witches, you said. So yeah.
Yeah, just New Orleans in general. We're going to talk about all the history and the stories and the legends, and we'll talk about our trip. I'll give you a little rundown on the drunk ass ghost tour that I give. So,
oh, really? I like to hear that. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I got this New Orleans just fascinates me. Louisiana, and I've got this tomorrow or Thursday afternoon. I got Dr. Dean Bertram on. Dr. Dean is a wealth of knowledge, UFOs, aliens, Bigfoot, cryptids, and the thing is, he don't really believe in Bigfoot, which is right fascinating. But he's got very good reasons behind it. I don't know that we'll be talking about that. He's got some documentaries that I can't really divulge that he's going on between the UFO connection and the paranormal world, which I think people will find fascinating. That'll be on Thursday afternoon. But
everybody check it out then.
Yes, check it out. Don't forget, everybody, subscribe to Monica's YouTube channel, Our Paranormal World. And she's, I know you see me get on that one, right? I was at Monica's Our Paranormal World, which it's weird because your YouTube thinks is at Monica's Paranormal World, but your show is just Our
Well, you know why it says at Monica's Paranormal World is because Our Paranormal World is already at station on YouTube. So I can't take that. So, and it's fine. Monica's Paranormal World works too because it's Monica's World and it's paranormal.
Yeah, and it's on every Thursday night at 11 in the East, 10 Central. The Blondes and the Booze are on Thursdays at 9 in the East, Fridays at 8 Central. I'm on Tuesday nights at 9, Thursday afternoons at 1. And me and you and the girls from the Blondes are on Saturday night at midnight. Those are fun shows. Those are fun shows, everybody. Yes, we talk paranormal and weird stuff, cryptids, but we also mix in, food and sometimes just dumb stuff, but people get a kick out of that.
It's just kind of shooting
the breeze, shooting some
kicking the can down the road kind of show, right?
It's a lot of fun. It's the end of the week. It's the weekend. It's midnight. Half the time I'm coming home from my friend's house, hanging out by the pool, which unfortunately will be coming to an end here. pretty soon with about 3. I'm summered out in August, like I was saying.
I was
All the
summered
bugs
out 2 weeks into June.
Oh, really? Well, you're in
Are you
Texas.
kidding
so-
me? Yes.
Well, you're in Texas. It's 90 degrees in April, probably in Texas.
Actually, it was decent this year. What has been happening the last few years is it's pleasant, 2 inches from Satan's gates.
Yeah,
Stay
okay.
there until, and this is what gets me every year. I've lived in Texas for 30 years now, more than 30 years. And September rolls around, and where I'm from, it starts cooling down in September, not in Texas. September rolls around, and I'm like, yay, cold weather. Heck no. I still got a month and a half
Yeah.
of at least 90-degree weather, at least.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in August you can sit in the shade and sweat. So usually in August, I'm at my friends in that pool. I didn't tell you a story. I helped him build his pool 5 years ago. A 15 by 30 swimming pool, but we had to dig it out, lay the sand, balance it. We had no idea how we were doing this. The instructions, which we wouldn't use anyway, weren't in the boxes, which was like 20 of them. So it took us a month to put it up. We started in June 1st and we completed July 28th. And that summer it was 98 degrees every time we seemed to work on it. And we had to go off a YouTube video to try to put it together. So can you imagine looking at your phone and trying to, piece it together? That
doesn't sound like fun.
It was not fun. It was like a million parts, nuts and bolts. Anyway, it's done and over with. I'm glad that I have it up now because now I can swim in it whenever I want.
I'll be up in a couple of days. You'll have to chase me out of your pool.
Oh, very good. Now you can come on down. Yeah. I call it mine, even though it's technically not mine. We're going to put it in my yard or his yard. I said, no, put it in your yard. You can run the electric. I don't want to deal with that. You can vacuum it. He don't do it. His wife vacuums it, cleans it, buys it.
Oh, make sure you get those things that you throw in there that help the animals get out if they fall in.
Oh, yeah. Well, his dog, he does have a dog. He got a deck. We ended up putting up a deck that the dog can't. It's above ground.
Yeah.
So 4 foot up. It's 4 foot. It's 15 by 30, 4 foot tall, 4.5 feet tall.
Okay.
The dog can't get in. It's a German Shepherd. He can't jump that high.
I'm talking about wild animals like squirrels and rats and.
Oh well, no. Well, they've had one rat in the pool.
They will find a way to get in there.
In 5 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was creepy. Get all bloated. It looked like double the size it really was.
Everything that's been in the water for a while does that. It's disgusting.
I don't squeal easily, but when it's a bloated dead rat, and I don't like rats anyway. Now, of course, who does? But I'm just saying, of all the rodents,
it's really bad. Like when you go in, like the flesh falls off because it's so waterlogged, it just separates from the skeleton. Oh. It's disgusting.
Yeah, that is quite disgusting. Very disgusting.
Yeah, it's just as gross as you can imagine it would be.
Even dead birds after a while decayed. They get kind of like gross looking.
Ugh. I remember one time my cats had killed a wood rat or something in my yard, like back in East Texas, long time ago.
Yeah.
And I was, fussing at the cat. I'm like, look what you did. I picked it up by its tail. Look what you did. Look what you did. Its tail degloved while I was holding. Oh, gross. All right. So there are gross stories for the night. Good night.
Yeah.
Sweet dreams, everybody.
Yeah. I'll be thinking about that. One thing that I'll leave you with. You know what? I'm not going to leave you with that because it's too controversial.
Oh.
The skinning of Patty's alleged family. Hanging upside down in the forest. I've heard that story before.
I am so tired of those stories. I don't believe
I can't believe that
word of them. But if you subscribe to that, then
I do not.
Not you, just the royal you.
It's pissed off a lot of people, and really rightfully so, I think. But
well, yeah, I mean, of course.
But But anyway, we'll leave it on that. Now I've I have to watch something lighthearted now after thinking about that. The images of skinned animals in general are kind of freaky. Bloated skinned animals being degloved. Yeah, thanks
I'll
for
tell
all
you,
that.
want to be a vegetarian, just watch a meat processing video.
And no, not at all.
You will
tell you
quickly
what,
turn vegetarian.
I'll never eat a hot dog again. I'll tell you that.
Oh God, no. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, with that being
We
said,
took a left turn and we're grossing everybody out.
yeah, we did. I mean, we had to blow a little extra time here because of the issues we had. But thanks to Mr. Jesus Payan for coming on. He had some audio and video issues, you guys. The first hour went pretty smooth, I thought, but it was all in and out. Thanks to T-Bone for gifting 5 Bigfoot Mr. Rob our pirate memberships, and thanks to Amy for a super sticker. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you everybody for coming in. And again, we'll be on the rest of the week. With that being said, I just got to find the exit button. Thanks to everybody once again. Monica, I'll catch you on the rebound or around the corner, as they say.
Yeah.
And we're out. Night.
Bye.